After my A-levels, I taught for longer at different primary schools, Burunga and this other, Rukoni. That's why I taught people who are big people now, like Tumwine, like some other big people whom I see around here. And then later on, I taught as a tutor at Moshi. So I am some sort of teacher. But when I come here representing 3 constituencies. Constituency number 1 are the bush people, Abanansko, the freedom fighters. Constituency number 2 is the NRM, because some of the NRM are not Banansko. They are those who came when we entered Kampala here. There are many of those. And then thirdly, I represent the people who keep saying Aveo, Aveo, you know those people also. I think last time there were more than, they said there were 6 million, but actually they cheated our votes. And most of the spoiled votes were ours. They were spoiling our votes. So the number is more than that. So these people, you should listen to their message carefully, because we have been in these struggles, some of us for almost 60 years now. So you better listen to what we advise you carefully, because we know what we are talking about. You have seen so many failed states in the world, even in Africa here. There are very many of them. Countries which have failed, which can't operate, where teachers can't teach. And Uganda was one of them. Because I remember at one time there were so many teachers of Uganda who were running away to teach in Kenya, to teach in Southern Africa. Many teachers. So the NRM analyzed what the problem was and has provided a package of solutions. But somehow, some of you people seem not to pay attention to that. You spend so much time talking about things which are really not correct. And it's good that I'm here to help you remember those points. Now, I think this must be the problem of the Secretariat, the NRM Secretariat. They seem not to be in touch with you people, because otherwise you would have remembered the laws, not principles really, the laws of what we call political economy. Political economy is the study of the science of the laws that govern the motion of society. How does society move forward from one level to another level? Those laws are there. And for us, we in the NRM, we know them. That's how we have been able to build a viable force that rescued Uganda. Uganda was rescued by the NRM, not by any other group. Now, the first law of political economy is to know what we call the primer of social change. Primer is an instigator, something that instigates something, other things to happen. Primer, P-R-I-M-E-R. In the gun here, the needle, the one which strikes the bottom of the bullet and the bullet flies off, is the primer. So, what is the primer of social change? I'm surprised the NRM doesn't get in touch with you, the Secretariat. And people like Brigadier Matsuko and this so-called Secretariat, there's a patriotism Secretariat in the Prime Minister's office, I think, President's office. They seem not to be in touch with you. Now, the primer of social change in the whole history, in the 4 million years of society, because society man has been here for 4.5 million years. In all of those years, the primer of social change is the advance of science and technology. So this debate you are having, who is more important, who is what, shows that there's something you don't seem to know. When man invented fire 1.5 million years ago, this was a technological leap. Because before that, people did not have fire. Society did not have fire. But when they invented fire, society changed completely. People who were living in trees, they were able to descend and live in caves, because they could now go into the caves and light fire and so on. People who were eating raw food, they could now cook and roast food. So you can come through history and you see that if you do not deal with the issue of science and technology, that society will not move. So therefore, this idea we are telling you, please, we want to increase the salaries of all the teachers and of all the public servants. But if we don't have enough money, what do? Why don't we start with some that are most needed? And these are the science cadres in different areas. But now, when this is our ideology from the bush. It's not a new position. Even when we came, you remember we started giving more scholarships for science education. So therefore, this resistance you are launching against our long-held position is not correct. I would advise you to really calm down and stop obstructing our plan, because it is well thought out. If you look at most of the activities in production of goods, especially goods, they are all science-based. Farming is science-based. Can you do farming without science? Even primitive science is science, the one of our parents. Pastoralism, fishing, artisanship, manufacturing, that is all production of goods. All is based on science. When Africa was colonized, it was not because we lacked dancers and storytellers and musicians. We had plenty of those. You see them at these clowns who were in the courts of the kings, musicians. We had plenty of them. but we lagged behind in science and technology. That's what the problem of Africa. It is not because of anything else. And that's what we cannot repeat again. We cannot repeat that. And nobody should be hustling about this. Now, the services, because there is production of goods, food, implements, chemicals, vehicles, those are goods. They are produced by science. Services are also important. Music. Once I have eaten, science has solved my problem of food. I can listen to music. It's good. It also makes my life better. I can listen to Shakespeare, literature. I'm a literature person myself. But I cannot say because I'm a literature person, I forget what is the base of society. Base of society is science. So please, stop this argument. These arguments show that you don't know what you are talking about. And of course we shall not be influenced by that, because we cannot, again, miss the history, the birth of history. Africa cannot do that mistake again. We are already far behind. The other societies have gone through 3 industrial revolutions. They are now entering the 4th one, the one of artificial intelligence. And we are trying to catch up. The first industrial revolution, the second one, the third one. All these left Africa behind. So I'm surprised. This must be the mistake of the Secretariat and the patriotism Secretariat, the one in the President's office, who don't engage you and really, all these teachers should know this. I am a person of literature and history, but I am the one who is leading the crusade of having science-oriented education, leading. The others are there, but emphasis must be given to the science, because that's what life really hinges on for the last 4.5 million years. So services, music, literature, religion, praying for me. Once I have eaten, thank you very much. You can come and pray for me. Once I am in the hospital, I have not died, you can come and bless me. Religion. If I die, you can also come and pray for me. So, but science, food, medicine, transport, weapons. We were conquered by the Europeans because we didn't have gunpowder. Not because we lacked courage or what. No. So this debate should not be among you. That means that the Secretariat are not doing their work, and the other group, this were in the patriotism group. So services are there, the social sciences are there, they have a role, but a society to survive must not lag behind in science and technology. That was our problem, the problem of our ancestors, especially the kings. The kings would sit there being flattered by these clowns who run around them and neglect, because the Europeans didn't come here in one day. Since you study history, you know that Vasco da Gama went around the Cape of Good Hope in 1498. That's when Vasco da Gama went around South Africa, and he passed by Mombasa. And information was coming that some people are coming, some powerful people are coming. So these chiefs here, instead of preparing, instead of knowing that there's some new danger there, they were just here, just being flattered by their crowns. And these fellows came and now you remember Huntington Speak came here, 1862, you calculate, from 1498 to 1862, it's almost 400 years. Why would these wonderful chiefs here, kings, powerful king, this one, we had a small king in Mbarara there. He was called Rubambansi. That he was the controller of the whole world. Which world were you controlling? Just, you know, we cannot go on with that blindness. NRM cannot accept that. We patiently walked through the bush. We taught peasants to fire guns. Now, don't waste our time, please, with those arguments. Don't waste our time with those off-the-point arguments. So the crucial discipline that is crucial in the immediately, the others are all important. Literature, I'm very useful. Literature, if you want me to quote Shakespeare for you, do you want for me to repeat for you Julius Caesar? I can quote for you now so that you saw that my brain is working. Of all the wonders I yet have known, it seems to me most strange that men should fear seeing death. A necessary end will come when it will. That I think was Brutus or something like that in Shakespeare. But okay, I have quoted Shakespeare, but people are suffering from corona. How will my quotation cure the corona now? We need medicine for corona. My knowledge of Shakespeare doesn't solve that. Let the people be cured first, and then I can come and quote to them Shakespeare when they are around. So please don't waste our time again. And then you say that you are teachers union. Teachers union what? What are you? Teachers should be informed. Now, on the issue of corona, no, I was about to tell you the one branch of the social sciences that is immediately, and that's where you can play a role, you people. You studied, like me who studied Shakespeare. I acted there was a play called The Murder in the Cathedral by one of those authors. All those things, I read them. But in terms of wealth creation, what is immediately needed, apart from the science, the biology, the physics, the chemistry, the mathematics, what is immediately needed from the social science side is entrepreneurship. You remember economics, the 4 factors of production: land, labor, capital. Number 4 is entrepreneurship. Because entrepreneurship is very crucial, because it is the one that can put together, that can have the eyes, the spectacles to see opportunity where it is. And all of you can be entrepreneurs. Even if you studied literature like I did, you studied Greek, So you come and talk to our people here, you study Latin, sanctum, sanctus. Thank you very much. But now, we need food here now. We need medicine. We need items of transport. We need building materials. So you can put together through entrepreneurship, put together the necessary ingredients of land, labor, and capital. Using the scientists, you will be employing scientists. They produce a good for you. That's a very, I wouldn't say most useful, it's the immediate one. Then the other services can come later, the music, the storytelling, the religion to bless. They can come later. But first, we must emphasize science. Now, when it comes to Corona, again, I'm really surprised about the debate. Of course, Mr. Baguma has invited me to perform and I think we call it in English redundant action of launching Education Matters, which matters, of course. What do you have to say that? So when I'm launching it, I will say I am launching the obvious. Because Baguma and his committee are behaving as if we don't know that education matters. Who said it didn't matter? When was it said, and who said, education matters, but we had to survive. I really don't like this question of people being, not knowing what to do what. The Bible says, the book of Manyankole call it Mburzi, Ecclesiastes, says there is time for everything. This time was for survival. And I'm very, very proud that we shielded our people from dying. I was watching TV just the other 2 nights ago. There's a country known as Brazil. They were showing that Brazil has reached the level of 600,000 deaths. Abafu emitwaro enkaga who died from corona. 600,000 dead in Brazil. You Teachers Union, you must be having this internet. You go and check how many people died in Brazil. I was told yesterday that there were 600,000 the other night. The US, those ones reached 600,000 long ago. 600,000 dead. All these European countries, you go and check how many people died here, died there, died there, died there. Am I going to say that I am happy that our people didn't die so much? We were able to save our people. We have reached now 3,000 something. All this month, 1 year and 7 months, only 3,000 people have died. You think that's not important? Education, the good thing, maybe some of the problems that some of you have never seen problems. I had to interrupt my life for 8 years in Tanzania fighting Idi Amin. 8 years Whatever I was doing, I left. We left, not me alone. 5 years in the bush. That's a total of 13 years. Now we came back. Is anybody better off than myself? The one who lost 13 years? The thing was to survive. As long as I survive, even if I lose time, even if I lose what, if there is such a big danger, it is better than dying. Oh, pregnancy. Pregnancy, that means there are 2 people now instead of 1. You know, when I hear these people talking, are these children or what? Or are they adults? Eh? When we went to fight, some of the children left school and joined us in the bush. Some were young children. They went out and joined us in the bush. When we came back, after many years of fighting, we started a Kadogo school for them in Mbarara there, a Kadogo school. So all the Kadogos in the army, you come and resume your abandoned education. Next year on the Teachers' Day, I will bring those Kadogos. Here. The ones who left education, went and joined us in the bush, fought. Then long after many years of getting out of school, they came back. We opened a special school for them in Mbarara. Many of them are now doctors. What? You cannot. I thought teachers knew something about like and unlike terms. That's what I had when I was still in the education system. There are like and unlike. You cannot compare the uncomparables. Don't compare death with losing time, losing jobs, losing money. That is reversible. I can lose today, tomorrow I will gain. But death is irreversible. You are dead, finished. So how can you go on comparing these two, like and unlike terms, and then you say you are teachers? What are you teaching now? To compare the uncomparables. There's no way we can compare death with loss. I lost 13 years of my life. But I am here. I even came back with a wife. And with children, because I didn't have a wife when I went. So please stop. It's good you have given me opportunity to lambast this confusion. Even our people, our Baganda people, they know this. They say, "Ekitata muyima tekimara." Do you have real Baganda here? Kanda oba warwa Baganda dara. Kati oba warwa Baganda aja amara yorugero rwangoro. Anyambe okumara yorugero. Jangu kumzindaro wali bakola muyingo sikwetaga. Abaganda abalala. Genda weyanjire ate ntegere da ntoli Muganda ddala.
Erinnya eryange nze Namande Grace Nakanwaji neddiranga akabbiro Jerengesa. Ekitata muyima tekimmalako nteezi.
Owulidde ssebo n'ennyabo nakanwayi atuyambye. The Baganda were able to study their neighbors, the Banyankore, the cattle keepers, the Bahima. Say, if a Muhima doesn't die, even if he loses cattle, he will get new cows. Because so what is important is life. So please stop this. This is wrong. Of course, for me, I will not listen. As long as God has put me here to protect my people, I can't listen to all this confusion. Pregnancy. Jobs. I don't know. You go and do something else. If you are running a bar, and the bar has been closed by a catastrophe, olumbe ruze ne bagamba nti okwetaasa mugarewo baara nenebeera wano mu town. Then I get stuck. I go to the village and start cultivating potatoes. Has Corona stopped cultivating potatoes? If you plant potatoes, will they not grow? Will Corona stop them? Yeah, this Corona came, created problems, especially anything to do with congregating people was a problem. Now, if that is a problem, I go and do something else. As long as I am alive. So, don't compare the uncomparables. Now, coming to education policy, our strategy is clear. First of all, I want free education. I'm glad Baguma has asked me to invite you, because I didn't want to collide with you people. For me, I said free education. Some of the other groups, the PTA, the what, we are bringing back charges in schools. I didn't want to clash to Nani, but I insist on it. This is the correct way. Free education for all the children in the secondary, in the primary and the secondary schools, and also the tertiary. Except the children, the rich people want to go to private schools, and the rich people's schools of the government. But for the schools of the smaller people, like I have got my school there in Barilegi, Okwang. Is there somebody from Lango? Somebody from, not Obua. Obua is not interesting. I want somebody more interesting. Binokan. Nyara Binokan, Lakwara. The girl. Come. Is she Lango? The boy, the one who is Lango. Okay, you go. Pacho kwene?
Pacho tio tuke Okwang sub-county.
Okwang? Oh, Apoyo Rubanga. The man is from my village. What is happening to my school there?
Okwang SS produced the best blind, one of the best blind candidates at senior 4 level, at the national level this year.
And how many grade 1s did we get?
They got 11.
Oh, you can hear? Because when I introduced USE, I made my calculation when I was in Okwang. I built a state lodge for you people there. when I was fighting Konya, and so I always go there. So I called them, I said, how much per capita, what do you call this? Capitation grant. How much capitation grant do you need? But when I was in that near Okwang, at that time, they calculated that if we could give each child 47,000 shillings, that we could teach free without the children paying money. And I got this information from Okwang when I was there. So, this has Apoyo Bepin.
Apoyo Tutwan.
We are speaking our language. These people don't know what. They don't know what we are talking about. So from that time, that's when I came bold and said, now we go to USE, because at that time we were at UPE. But somehow, I don't get support from the PTA, and these children keep being thrown out of school. But Baguma has now said that you want to meet me and we discuss it. Omona, please organize for me to meet the Baguma group. And we resolve that. Now, with that, our plan is clear. One government secondary school per parish, so that the children can work from home, study, go back. One government secondary school per sub-county. One government vocational school per constituency. Per district now, but eventually want to go to the constituency. And so on. That's our plan. So if you knew the historical role of the NRM, how NRM rescued Uganda from collapse, you would be very conversant with this, so that we would have no contradictions. The Baguma says, you are not against free education for all, but in a way you are, because of the way you talk. Because you see, we want more salary. If we don't, industrial action. Industrial action means okunteka kuninga. Uruganda ruze bulungi. Nakanwaji arazewa. Au nyimiride ntya omuntu okunteka kuninga. Jangu wano otunyonyole. Nakanwaji is short and brief to the point.
Neyanziza nnyo President. Okuteeka ku nninga kitegeeza nti bakutadde ku bw'amayinja. Obuki obunkenke. Ku bunkenke.
How about omunugo? Omunugo okukwata omuntu bwakukwata bwati.
Nga bakutuga.
It's a bit different.
Kyanjawulo ssebo. Okuteeka ku bunkenke n'okutuga kyanjawulo.
So what is obunkenke exactly?
Obunkenke aba ayagala okikole naye nga takusse. Naye okutuga aba akutta bussi.
Okay.
Yes, sebo.
Kati awo tulina okusalawo Baguma nkoze eki. Omukalabako Baguma nkoze atya.
Seba akutadde ku bw'amayinja.
Okay, kale. So You say you are not against free education, but actually you are. Why? You see, if we wanted to pay very high salaries, because that was the education system we found here. In 1958, when I sat for primary living in our area, in our sub-county of Ntungamo, I think we were like 4 or 5 children who sat for the primary living and went to what they called junior secondary, which is like P7. And you can go and check. In fact, I think I gave it in one of my speeches. You can go and check how many children were in the primary school, first of all. By the time NRM came into government, I wanted to go back to 1959, but that's maybe too far and unnecessary. If you go to when the NRM came into government, the children who were in the primary school were 2.5 million, I think. And the ones in the secondary were 190,000. You can go and check, because if you, that Teachers Association of yours should do that research, should have that all teachers should know this. How many children were in the primary school in 1986? How many were in the primary school in 1969? How many were in the primary school in 1959, for instance? You will be amazed. Very, very few. So that time, the philosophy of education was education, or education for some. That was the principle. All education for some. When I went to A-level, 1965, we were being paid money. We would study free, but also be paid some allowance. And when we went to university, we would study free, but also get allowance. Yes. Now, that was all education for some. That was the principle. Abatono bafune obuyigirize bwonna. Obuyambi bwonna mbi obuyigirize. NRM came and said, this one is very dangerous. And we said, let's have some education for all. But in order to do that, now when you had all education for some, the teacher, you go and check the figures. The teachers of the government in the primary school, I remember, including the air, they were 85,000. That's what they were saying. When Amanya Mushagand, those people were in the ministry, I would say, how many teachers are there? Primary school teachers, 85,000. But now, with UPE, there are 135. How many are they now? Huh? 135,000. So that means the number has almost doubled. Now, if we wanted to pay the few very well, then we would not undertake education for all. We would maintain the other education for some and pay the few, those few teachers for the few very well. Now, we don't think that's good for the country. So, when you demand and baguma nateka kumayinja nakanwaja government bantade kumayinja, that means actually you are opposing the education for all. Because if we take on education for all, as we did, and as we intend to do, we may not pay everybody very well initially, but at least more of our people will be covered. So, in reality, the pressures you put on, especially the bunkenke, the threats are actually against education for all. What you want is that bali amanyi tubaveko, amanyi gonna tugateke kugwe n'abatono abalina omukisa ogw'okusoma, and that one we're not going to accept. So now when you come to the payment for science teachers, that one I've already told you the logic. The logic is, okay, which science teachers? We are talking mainly about the secondary schools. This is where it's true that in the primary school, the class teacher is teaching all subjects because the specialization is not so clear. And in fact, in our time, the science would study in the primary school. We were not calling it science. We were calling it nature study. The study of nature. You would study flowers. You study some botany. You study the weather, the clouds. I remember those were part of nature study. Now, therefore, the specialization we want to deal with, when we come, we can talk more, but I will call Minister of Public Service to be there. But what I remember, because I'm the one who is pushing this, what I want is where the specialization is clear. Physics, biology, chemistry, mathematics for the president. I hear some government officials are getting 50 million. What? They give themselves salaries there. I refused that salary. But you challenge my authority now, and you see what happens. Getting little salary, but everybody knows who is the president of Uganda. So please, don't mix up salary with authority. How much does the bishop get? I see you kissing the rings of bishops. How much salary does the bishop get? I don't know how much they get, but I don't think they get so much money. So stop mixing up issues. This is simply situational. We are trying to get from the pit, we are coming up slowly. Now the question is, where do we start? Because some of these science cadres are so crucial. One school was about to close. Soroti Flying School. We have got a very good school in Soroti for teaching pilots. Now, that mix-up of yours, because I am holding a senior administrative post, there are pilots before me, I should get more than the pilots. But once somebody has qualified as a pilot, in the airline, he will be paid 25 million shillings. Now, if we are to pay all these administrators 25 million now, how shall we manage? So, in that school there, this was the problem. The people in the Ministry of Transport, the administrators, the accountants, I don't know what, there's somebody called HR. Have you heard of somebody called HR? There's HR. Then there is the sweeper who is sweeping in HR. All those must be paid. But you don't have the money. But you need the school of pilots. So when I went there, what is the problem? You pay, you HR, are you going to pilot the plane? HR, you remember HR? If HR, you can fly the plane, you come and fly it. If you can't fly it, let's pay the one who can fly it well. You HR, you will come later. Get whatever little you can get, we can afford. But let's pay, and there are not many. The good thing is that the pilots, the instructors, we are not many, there were few. So what was actually going to kill the institution was the empaka. Either all of us get or nobody gets. That logic must be rejected because it is a logic of suicide. These instructors, the pilots, are few. They are not many. The ones who can fly the plane, they are not many. Let's pay them well, the way they would be paid if they were working in the airline. Me, the HR, I can still get whatever little I am having. And the sweeper, the one who is sweeping in HR, because we were told that in Makerere, once you put up the salaries of professors, the sweeper who is also sweeping near the professor is also like the professor. That also must be paid. I cannot believe that people can really be enemies of their own country. Why? What are you looking for? You are looking for somebody who is doing something that nobody can do. The doctor who can treat a corona patient. The engineer. The other time we had the problem of floating islands, which were about to invade the dams. We had to get engineers, our engineers. They came and cleared the island. So these people are not many, first of all. Like when we were talking about the government scientists, they are not many, they are very few. I think altogether they are like, so we can pay them well, they do this crucial work for us well, the economy goes up, then we all join. Even that, by the time, when I retire, you have to pay me all the back pay. Because I have been getting 2.7 million all this time. Between 1986 and 1996, I was getting 150,000 shillings. That's what I was getting, 150,000 shillings between 1996, between 1986 and 1996. So even when I have retired, you'll have to pay me my back pay. But for now, I could not accept high salaries when we are still recovering. So this business of the way you're handling the issue of salaries, handle it, discuss, but please don't bring the, number one, don't obstruct our strategy of paying the scientists well, because we needed them. We need Salute Flying School to train pilots. And because of the market price, when that pilot is not flying in the school, he can go and work in the airline and be paid 25 million. Let's pay him. How many are they? 5, 6 of them. The school operates. You, the HR, when we dismiss you from here, where will you go? HR. Because this pilot, if we dismiss him from if he's not in the school, he will go and work in the airline. The HR, if he's not in the school, where will he go? And how much will they pay him? So please, number one, don't obstruct our science-led effort to start with. We are not blind to all the others. We know, but please, totulinyira. Number two, don't use threats to try to aganinga, because it's not necessary. We are here. We are people who know what we are doing. Why do you threaten me? Why do you threaten me? Now, the supervisors and supervisees, that one I think I have answered. Baguma's faulty argument. Oh, but science is taught in English. You heard how he was arguing. But science is taught in English. So therefore, if I'm an English teacher, I'm also very, very important. Because if I don't teach the scientists English, he will not. That's not true. In the Cambridge school certificate, you would get, the British had actually the same line like Waguma. A boy, he would get, these distinctions, D1, D2, you remember, I think it is still the same system now. Still the same system. D1, D2, credit 3, credit 4, like that. Now, you would get a boy, and I know some of them became professors, some even became very, very senior. He would get distinctions in English, but get either a pass or a failure in English. They would give him what they were calling GCE, not Cambridge School Certificate, but a GCE, another level of certificate, but not fail. He would get a GCE. Some of those young people went on to become professors in science. So if somebody can speak English badly, even fail, but do science very well. So please, those arguments of yours are faulty. Now, education budget, that's also another confusion. Oh, don't put down the education budget. But education budget is part of the whole effort. When we are funding defense, we are actually funding education. Because if there is no security in the country, you have heard what's happening like in Nigeria, for instance. I don't know whether you are following what is going on in Nigeria. Huh? There's a group called Boko Haram, which is attacking schools, attacking what? I don't know whether schools there are open or closed. Yes. So, if we depend on the situation, you go to Somalia and talk of the education budget. or some of the neighboring countries like Congo and so on. So some of the schools are closed. Do you have somebody from Kasese here? Kasese? Oh, come. Oh, and Bundubujo? Anybody from Bundubujo? You people, have you ever seen how Bakonjo look like? Babuchire.
Wabuchire, Your Excellency.
Wasinje.
Now Wasinja.
Wasinja Kutsibu.
Wasinja Kutsibu now.
Where are you from? Which area?
From Bwera.
Oh, Bwera even better.
Near the border.
Yes. What's happening inside Congo there? How are the schools doing?
Schools, Your Excellency, are doing badly because look at salaries. The community contributes and even government brings some little money. And when the government has not brought money and the community has also not brought enough, the teachers go without.
Yeah,
So,
but security, are some of the schools closed?
schools are in Eastern Congo, Butembo, Beni, schools are not operating because there is a lot of insurgents.
Yes. They are closed?
They are closed.
Yes. So, thank you. So, Wasinja Kutsibu.
Your Excellency, now Wasinja Kutsibu.
Uh-huh. So, that approach of yours, of if the budget of education is not this, it depends. We are coming from a collapse between 1971, especially 1971 and 1986. It was total collapse, and that's why some of us don't accept some of the childish things they talk, like there's what they call Maputo. You know, some people met in Maputo, and they call it Maputo, I don't know what. Have you heard of that? Kedres, what is Maputo Declaration something? Was it health or education? Rob Sheza, you know? Tell us, please. Okay, you don't know.
Maybe I request Charles. Charles, UNESCO, do you want to say something?
Who?
Charles from UNESCO.
Annie?
Charles, would you like to say something about the Maputo agreement?
Who is Charles?
Charles.
Is Charles a useful man? Huh? Is a UN man?
Thank you, Your Excellency.
Charles, are you Ugandan?
Yes, I am, Your Excellency.
How did you become UN?
There's also, Your Excellency, UN staff in Uganda.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Tell us about Maputo, I don't know what.
Yeah, the Maputo Declaration is specifically talking about health.
Oh, health.
Yeah.
Yes, there was. You must spend 10% of the budget on health.
That was the agreed position in the Maputo Declaration.
Sit down.
Thank you.
But when I spend, depending on the situation, when I spend on defense and there is peace in the country, I'm actually supporting health, I'm supporting education, because without that, none of those will be able to be realized. Then you come to transport, the roads. When we spend money on the roads, we actually spending on education. Because like when we were at Ntare in the 1960s, children who were coming from Moyo to study there, we were studying with some boys from Moyo. I've forgotten one of them was that boy from Moyo. I know his children. Sometimes I meet them. They would take 3 weeks to come to Ntare. Now, at Tamak Road, they can get so all these sectors, depending on what one is, it's not that they are more important, but what. Now, for me to go from here to my car, I must cover this distance. I cannot say this distance I have covered is more important than the other one. No, it is simply the portion I need now, what you need now. Not necessarily more important, but what is needed immediately. I think in our prioritization, we should bring the concept of the immediate need. Not that the other ones are not important, but what we need now. So therefore, this idea that education, that the budget must be dogmatically stuck to is not correct, especially for people who are coming from problems. I can tell you that. When we are fighting, we would say what is crucial is food, gun, and ammunition. Clothes, optional. Because a naked person can shoot you and you die. So you would find people with buttocks outside. But they can shoot you. That's how we manage it. There is what was immediate. Food, not even medicine. Because medicine, we could get it from the government. Once we successfully attack, we take government medicine. So what was crucial was food, so that we walk and get to where we are going, and the gun and the bullet. Actually, when I went to see Gaddafi, I met Gaddafi on the 21st of June, 1981. And he asked me, he said, what do you need? I said, ammunition and a gun. You don't want men? I said, no. You don't want clothes? I said, no. You don't want medicine? I said, no. Ammunition and a gun, finish. On the K. Gaddafi was surprised. Because Gaddafi used to support many people, they would come and say, we want money, want radio for propaganda. Radio, once I shoot you, then propaganda is... So please, if you are dealing with the problems, ask people who have dealt with problems before, and I'm here. I am here, I will give you free consultancy. You don't have to pay me, I'm just here. How to work with little. Na baguma banange, wada baguma n'ensonga za baguma banange. Now, he has now brought new confusion. That because of social distancing, that means the children will need more space, and therefore we shall need more classrooms, and therefore we shall need more teachers. But now confusion yabaguma. This social distancing is when we still have the corona, and we only brought it for this what do you call them? These who are completing, the finalists. What is the word we use for them? The candidate classes. You get a school like Masaka SS, where I went once to talk. That school has got 4,000 students in normal times. So for the candidate classes, candidate classes are like 10% of the whole population or what? Huh? About 500 for Masaka SS. So we tactically said, let the candidate classes go back, and because the whole space is empty now, they social distance. But when schools open, there will be no social distancing. That's why we are saying we vaccinate. They will sit normally. There will be no social distancing. That will no longer be necessary. That's why we say you vaccinate the teachers, vaccinate the workers in the school, vaccinate the vulnerable people who stay at home, and then open. So, Baguma, here you are wasting your calories with all this. Now, I'm not going to arrest some of you. Ngenda kubasiba because you are aiding and abetting corruption. Because during the recruitment of teachers, I don't know, some people are taking bribes and you keep quiet. Ate osomie orumuyigirize. You people, you capture them for me. Bantekere kukatambi. Please, we clean the, why do you, ngenda kusarika neba guma gwena atandikirako. Because he knows the corrupt, he's keeping quiet. Now he's coming now to disturb my peace. Oh, to okunkabira. Mondechere obujulizi tukwata ababbi. Bring evidence about these corrupt people, whether they're in the Educational Service Committee, whether they are, I don't know, whoever they are. Kati abantu bange nalweso waliawo. Make sure that mubeere baguma ku lusegere atubuulira ababbi abo. Otherwise I will go for him. I say let's arrest these people. Tubakwate. This is very nice. You are educated people. Get evidence and trick them and get evidence and we'll go for them. Those don't have to waste our time. Money for the circles, the micros, where I will find out why this micro supports, what do we call them? Microfinance center, the center z'abasomesa bange baziteekawa ekyo mukindekere. Thank you very much baguma awo nyambi. Baguma has now done something good now. ate ekirala Baguma kyanyambyemu automation of retirement benefits. Awo banange Baguma ayogedde. Now, Katie, PS, come and answer Baguma Banange. This one is, because Baguma has said the machines, when I get 60, they are automatic. But after that, they forget. What can be? Huh? Mm-hmm. Awo Baguma ayogedde ndinebirala.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, as you are aware, pensions is a decentralized function to the districts and to the various institutions. But we can work on...
But they can all be directed. They are under the same government.
Yes. It's something that can be done, Your Excellency.
No, you are the PS in charge, because you are in charge of the welfare of the teachers in service and out of service.
Yes, sir.
Because if you mishandle me when I am out of service, how will I work well when I'm in service? So you are the head of the teachers here, administration-wise. You should follow up. Make sure that nobody mistreats your teachers once they...
We will do that, Your Excellency.
Because the computers of the center can link with the computers of the districts. There's no problem. Thank you. So please take it up and make sure you solve it. Appreciating the individual teachers. Oh, that's a good one. We always do it on Teachers' Day. We should plan for it. I have no problem at all. I support it. Oh, me appreciating individual teachers who taught me. Because I don't have particular teachers who did this or that. I was paying my school fees, they were teaching. And I actually quarreled with many of the teachers. So, I thank all the teachers. Now the teachers day for holiday. We need to discuss it in cabinet. At the holidays, not too many Banange. Let's discuss it in cabinet because, I also have a profession. After being a licensed teacher, I did something else. I became a soldier. And we have our day, Terehesita, but it's not a holiday. We have never asked you to make it a holiday. We normally go and celebrate by ourselves. So let's discuss it in the cabinet. The ministers, you bring it up to Chipime, to Rabe. So whether it is... Because you can have your day, whether it is a holiday or not. How many holidays? We already have these holidays. The NRM Day, then Independence, then Heroes Day, the one of the 9th, then Namugongo, Independence, Christmas. Janan room. Let's go and discuss it. But as a soldier, for me, I'm happy with my terrain-sitter without disturbing others. Or my who like my what we did, they follow. They come and we play tunasonga mbele na mtutu. So let's go and weigh it. Okay, I think now I have finished all the issues. Oh, thank you so much. I congratulate the teachers. We have had a good, I must thank Baguma has tickled my mind. It is now more active, but I think I have also helped him to understand a few things so that we move together. Thank you so much.
Can we put our hands together again to thank our model teacher for the great lesson he's taught us this afternoon?
I must welcome our friend from Ireland. Some of the partners are good people and work very well with them, and Ireland is one of them. Actually, the Irish, Sister Kefas brought up my girls at Namagunga. But later on, she was kidnapped and taken to Ireland because all the other nuns were too